that fell in the two world wars and limited wars, and I hope that we continue to do this in the years to come. Of course, while we have ex-servicemen like the people that we're talking about, it will continue this way. Liberty and Bullring are both like members of the Manaia and District Return Services Association, and with that, I'll allow them to come forward and we'll go down to the roll of honours in the front gate and lay it to read. Thank you.
To the battle, they were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. That's for those who've got seats, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce you to Kelvin Putt and Margaret Putt, his wife. Kelvin is the chairman of our Centennial Committee, and I'll hand you over to him.
Thank you again. Distinguished guests, Mr. and Mrs. Young, Mr. and Mrs. Joyce, Mr. and Mrs. Ward, Donald, Mary, Tom. Indeed, it's a great occasion today to be chairman of the Centennial Committee. Thank you, Tom, for that Maori welcome. I reckon it was great. On behalf of the Centennial Committee, I extend a hearty welcome to all the residents, ex-residents, pupils, school teachers, and especially those who have travelled far. A centenary is a milestone in the history of the Takeo School and District, so we trust that you will enjoy the celebrations of this momentous occasion. To those old pupils, ex-committee men, women, teachers who are attending this weekend, you would no doubt have noticed the improvement to the school and surrounds, due largely to the present and past pupils and teachers, and especially those committee men and women and parents, through the active school committee and home and school association. To all those present pupils, may I remind them that today's pupils are tomorrow's parents, and they have the responsibility of fostering the school and the district and keeping the very high standard that has been maintained for the past 100 years. And with the strong community spirit which exists today, I believe that we could look forward to the next 100 years with confidence. Thanks very much. like to now introduce Mr. Young, who is a member of the Crown and whose family has a long association with the district. Mr. Young farmed in the district, served on the Home and School Association, and took an active part in the district while he was here. Ben.
Mr. Putt, shall we drop all that stuff? And I'll say Kelvin, Margaret, Pierce, Aileen, Tom Nartai, Jim and Mrs. Ward, Ken, Donald and Marin, ladies and gentlemen. The story of Otakiho is extremely well documented. We've had some keen local historians who've written over the years to remind us of the history of this place. And not the least of those, of course, is Murray McNeill Adams. We know about this place because it has been written about so prolifically. At least that is true as far as the last 100 years is concerned. However, I think it's appropriate that we understand that human settlement has existed here at this place for 1,000 years or maybe two. When Turi brought his people from far off Rangiatia, he camped at the mouth of the Kaupokanui River, so we are told, before moving on to Patia, where he settled. That was in the year 1350. By then, it is said there were already established settlements in the district. And much of that story has been handed down to the Maori people generation to generation by word of mouth. However, it is the changes and the developments of the last 100 years that we are celebrating here today. We are recalling the opening of the school, the founding of the district. We're remembering the names like Borrie, Ryan, Young, the Flemings, Hasty, Bayliss, in more recent times, McNeill Adams, Nichols, Natais, Davis, King. All members of a district that's had a wonderful spirit, one that has pulled together, whether it was to paint the hall, build something new at the school, help a family that's been burnt out, repair the church, or construct the swimming pool. As I think back on my years in Otakiho, it certainly was a district that pulled together. We've all learned things from our experiences here. Some, of course, the principles in education. Others, the skills of sports. Others associated with the school itself, how best to raise money or organize a calf day or a school picnic. Some, Jim, have learned how to deal with the education board. And I can recall my early mentors who were Murray McNeill Adams and Arthur Bayliss. Others have learnt what to do when they're building a new style of swimming pool. I can recall we were one of the first schools to build a swimming pool of the size that is here on the tilt-up basis. We learnt the skills of laying concrete on the flat and tilting it up. Everyone does it today. I think there was only one other school that I know of who had built a swimming pool in that form. It had some disadvantages. The main ones, as far as I'm concerned, were the fact that somewhere in the tilting up process I lost a hammer and a rammer and a pick. And so if you ever have to dig up that swimming pool, please return them. Committee men and parents learnt of the skills and the diverse interests a teacher brings to a school and district. And I think this school and this district have been well served by the head teachers and the staff who have played their part here. They, in turn, to my knowledge, without exception, have been well supported by the parents, the pupils and the community. In the last 100 years, the world has seen some extraordinary changes. I think we've seen more in the last 100 years than was observed in any earlier 1,000 years of earlier times. And we all know the rate of change is moving even more quickly. Otakio hasn't been isolated from these changes, obviously. New styles of dwellings, of modes of transport, of caring for and milking dairy stock have been introduced. Flax and fern has given way to grass and buckthorn. The pupils of this school, who in the first days would have ventured little further than Manaia or perhaps Hawera, now travel the world. And they reach London in hours, whereas their forebears took months. As far as the children are concerned, in the same decade, science has introduced them to both the inner workings of the atom and the complexities of those black holes in outer space. And in fact, as I recall the early science fiction of my childhood, and I'm sure that applies to many here, the science fiction of our childhoods has become the daily events of today. Today, in a few seconds, a silicon chip can do the work that once took 1,000 men a week. In this great age in which we all live, I think we too often ignore the advances. I'm quite outraged when I hear people complain about the so-called sorry state of affairs of our country, when in fact we have done so much to have accomplished or participated in the advances of New Zealand of the last 150 years is something of which all New Zealanders should be justly proud. Former students from small country schools such as Otakio first split the atom, developed the jet engine, were amongst the first to fly an aeroplane. As New Zealanders, we each have a share in a network of roads and bridges and railways and airlines and hospitals and schools and universities, not to mention the massive hydro stations. We share the ownership as New Zealanders of one of the world's largest gas fields not far from where we are now, its platform, the pipeline, a whole host of new petrochemical industries. We've got inter-island ferries, container ships, farms and factories. We have got 1 million homes and 1 million motor vehicles, and most of those all within 100 years, certainly the motor vehicles. We've got some of the largest man-made forests in the world, and we've got, I believe, the best housed people, amongst the best educated, of which this school participates, and amongst the best health services. Ladies are the guardians of those principles. May this be so in Otakio and elsewhere for yet another 100 years. To all associated with this great district and great school, my congratulations on the centenary. The best wishes of us all as Otakio district and school embarks upon the 2nd century.
Thank you, Van, for those kind remarks. Some words of wisdom there. I think they'll be well appreciated. I'd like to now introduce you to Tom Nartai. Tom, thanks again for that wonderful welcome.
To play a small part in the Otakeo and district area all my life. And I'm amongst the very few that district. It had been a long, long ladder to climb for us, and a very difficult one. We all can blame it to God, and perhaps He made it happen that way. Especially when coming to school, I hated it. I never knew a word of English. And those anxious moments when you need to leave the room and you cannot communicate, it made it very difficult. If we tried to communicate to someone in Maori, to relate it to the school teacher, that you must leave, you were already in a cross-legged position. What happened? You were punished. Never mind. You go through that all to go back home and say hello. You were punished for saying those words too. You was a loser from the beginning. And so confused. Didn't know what to do. Who was right? Everybody was going through battle. Individual one, the right to disagree. However, like all countries, we managed to manage it, haven't we? I got Swiss friends, Dutchman friends, and we are all happy family. And I think this is good for New Zealand. Yesterday, it was my thing, and also your thing. Today, it is our thing. To look now in the future and realizing how the world is so much in a turmoil, unemployment. The late speaker, I hope, perhaps can finish some answer before Christmas. However, it's fairly general. Education is a must. And it seems so weak to me that my language was so much condemned. And they now, Suko Hangareo, Matua Whangai, they're pouring in thousands to make an effort. And I'm pleased to say that they are winning. They are on a winning streak. To something they thought it was useless yesterday. But however, we've crossed so many bridges, and especially me, it's recorded 1,300 years that we have been crossing bridges. Carbon dated record has established that mankind have been here that exceed 1,500. Not that it matters. The early settlers had done so much great work, whether Maori or Pākehā, and we have all that to remember them, especially today. So, ladies and gentlemen, just you being here, I am very pleased for a start to see a lot of you got more gray hairs than me. It gives me a lift, even endorse the remarks and the speech that has been made by Honourable Ren Young. He has taken away a part of my thunder. However, it was quite so true. And he has worked so vigorously in the district for many years. But today is a success. Through you, we can say the weather, we forget about it now. Through you being here. I'd like to give thanks to the committee, to the Jubilee committee. When that was formed, we have had meetings and we didn't know how many are going to be here. 100, 200. Whether it will be feasible. But you know better. You had the confidence to come. It makes it so beautiful and fitting for a 100-year celebration. So some say you've made such a good job, but I say you and yours, with so much history that has gone beyond us, your presence make it so successful and complete. E hoa mai tiwi mau, e mihiana tia kutu. A te atua no kutu e tia ki mai nene, ara ti mara te mo te aro. To you, ladies and gentlemen, from today on, I wish that God bless you from here on. Tēnā kutu, kia ora.
Thank you, Tom. I'd like to introduce you now to Mr. Jim Boards, Chairman of the Taranaki Education Board. Jim. And we do have some trouble sometimes about, trying to get one or two things done, but we gradually got there. I would now like to introduce you to Mr. Hasty, another family that has had a long association with the district for many years. Donald is now the chairman of the school committee. Donald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honourable Mr. Young, Mrs. Young, other invited guests. It's great to welcome you on behalf of the school committee to these, the celebrations of the centennial of Otakio School and District. I'd also extend a special welcome to former committee members, teachers and pupils. We trust that you have the chance to meet and renew old friendships that you have developed while you've been in the Otakio District and the Otakio School. The Otakio District over the past 100 years, and I'm sure will in the future, support the school in all its cultural and sporting activities. The school's facilities today reflect this. The school is also available for the people of the district to use after school hours. We have the baths that are available for people, particularly over the summer period. And in the last couple of years, the netball club have installed lights, which you see at either end of the netball court, so they can practice at night in the winter months for netball. We thank all the district for their support in achieving these objects. Looking around today, if we only had 10% of the gathering as school pupils, we'd be able to retain Otakio as a three-teacher school. However, being realistic, the role in the future looks like falling over the next few years. During my involvement in the school, that's about 10 years, the role has dropped from 92 down to the present 39. It looks like in the future it'll fall lower. When this reunion is over and you have returned to your homes, we hope that you will have many more years of happy thoughts and memories of Otakio. Thank you.
Thank you, Donald. Now I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Tarrant, Secretary of the Centennial Committee. Ken has been a tower of strength. Ken.
Thank you, Kelvin. I'm not here to make a speech. I'm now going to read some messages which have come from people. And the first is from Stanley Lee Fleming, Winmore in England. I will not read all the letter, it's rather lengthy, but I regret not being able, I'll put this on, bang, to attend your Jubilee. And I thank you for your invitation. I have tried very hard, and I even booked for 2 so as to have company, but was not successful. Then I had a go to come on my own, but was not allowed, mainly on account of my sight. I will be aged 86. And he goes on to wish us well for today, and he remembers back the previous Jubilees. And he concludes, I wish I was told a while back that I will live to 120. It would be a very long time to wait. Stanley Lee Fleming. Hamilton, sorry we are not able to be with you this weekend. Wishing you all the best in the future. Kevin Bloxham and family. Alice Springs, congratulations Otakio School and District on your centennial. Thinking of all of you today. Sorry, unable to be with you. Jane Murdoch. Rockhampton, hello Otakio. Top place, top school, best wishes for the centenary. Regards, Malcolm McCullum. New Plymouth, congratulations on attaining the centennial status. May next 100 years be as equally rewarding. Education Department, New Plymouth. Congratulations on your 100th birthday from your 102nd-year-old neighbour, the chairman of and councillors and residents of Manaar Town. Warmest best wishes for a great district and school reunion in Otakio this weekend. Arthur Fryer, staff member 7880. That is all the telegrams. Ladies and gentlemen, we now are going to cut the cake, and I'm going to ask Mr. Jack Moeller, who first registered in the school in 1897. He is 92 years of age now, and I'm going to ask him to come forward. And Marnie Hughes. Marnie is a great-granddaughter of the Borry family. The Borry family were some of the first settlers in this area, and on that first day of school in 1884, they had 5 members of that family who came to the school. Jack, I'm going to call you Jack today. You're back at school, and Marnie, will you come forward, please?
Chairman, Mr. Ben Young, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm very, very pleased to be here today and highly honoured to have the privilege of cutting this cake. My first experience counting of how the Otakio School, it was a pretty small building in those days. I was sent here, and the teacher was out for the moment. So I went into the school following the rest of the children, and they all got seated, and I didn't know where to sit, so I just went at the table, and they all looked at me and said, hello, new teacher, new teacher. Well, I've had a lot of happy times here. We didn't live here very long, but I've been back here. My people had a farm down the corner of the road, and they used to come into the dances and one thing and another. And in the school days, when they lived in Carponga and Makaka, I used to come down here to stop with the surgeon, the family. And many a happy time with them and down on the beach, and also the Dasto family. I drove a team along this road here, Main South Road, stopped at the Hotaki Hotel, and my stables were down at the old coach stable that my dad used to use when he drove the coach here back in the early 90s. And I used to run from Elton to Bernanke, from Harbour to Bernanke. I'm very, very pleased to be here. The little girl is going to help me. Her grandfather and Bill Surgeon were mates of mine on Gallipoli. So I'm very pleased to have her here with me to do this. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I must congratulate the committee for the wonderful job that has been done here. I was really astounded last night in that marquee. The job of erecting that must have been a job, but the work that has been done has been really marvellous. I congratulate you all, and I hope that the future is very good for everybody. Thank you.
Before that, just one or two little items. The afternoon tea will be served just outside where the lunch was. I hope there's not quite such a bottleneck there. With that will be some of the Jubilee cake. If the older people want to sit down, the GP room there is available for them. And if you wish, afternoon tea will be brought to you. The dinner tonight, last night there was quite a few people asking what all the dots were on our name tag. Well, if you don't know, that indicates whether you're having supper last night, dinner tonight, or buffet lunch tomorrow. So if you're coming tonight, wear your name tags because that black dot is your admission for the dinner. One other item, the Jubilee book. In your folders you will have a form. If you would fill it out, if you want a Jubilee book, that the numbers we get here today gives us an indication of how many to order. The book will be printed as soon after the Jubilee as is possible. Now we'll get on to photos. I'll take these off, that's better. Being a district and school centennial, we felt that we'd like to take photos of all who attended. To do this, we had much discussion, and we came to the conclusion that if we could have all present residents in the districts in one photo, and all of those who come back today to the district in another.
We'll take you next, and after that we'll take the decade photographs as soon as we get those over. Thank you very much.
to elect the next residents around here.
Where I am standing, this is where the front row should be, sitting on the ground. Would you please come forward? That's good, yeah. Now, the people hiding in the back, will you come and fill in the rows in front, please? The people hiding in the back, would you fill in the rows in front, please? Now we're getting somewhere. Right, now, that's it.
I know he put some film in because I saw him.
Go.
Can the
Next game over here requires now. You want it back? Hey, kids, can you all go back about another right face up? That's just about it, yeah. Back in here in front. Take the sign with you, can you? You can sit behind the sign. That's the best place in the whole thing. Back we go. Back, back, back. There it is. Back. How's that? Just put it down there. How's that? Right. Now, if you're all watching this way, ready, set, go. We want to take 3 more. Hang on, there's a lady just kicking in the background. Now, you're watching this way, and I'll say go when we're going to take it. Just look up towards that handsome man. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Hang on, now just a minute. Those who are in the decade group, just form over there. If you're in the decade, we can take you in your decade, like 35 to 44, 45 to 54. Just go over there. You need the 2 tens now. Now you folks all just move away. Get it all under control. Okay. You alright? Those 2 big groups are all downhill. Yeah. Leo, we take quite a few. No. We got it. You got your 10, eh? Right on, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start.
I'll take one from here too.
Wait a minute. We just got somebody in the background. It's all over. Just hang on 1 second. Just 1 second.
For anybody interested in seeing the Jubilee film that was taken in 1964, I will make another showing of that film in the GD room in about 10 minutes. The 1964 Jubilee film for some of those of you who might like to see it again.
How's that? Balance?
Right, are you going to take one then?
Right, now I'll say go. Ready, set, go. We got one. Just look up there this time. Look up there. Look at the top. Ready, set, go. Two more up there and one down here. Ready? Don't go.
Two. 60 with 8, Roy. 60 with 8, John.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what's the camera status and I'll say ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Bruce, get over there. Over there, that's right. That's it. You really want to turn it. Now, watching towards... Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Now, watch towards this man here. Happy day. Got one? Got the other? Don't put your finger up your nose.
Right, all looking this way.
Right. Ready, set, go. Now hang on, we want to take one from upstairs too.
Moving. So, all smiles again. Good, ready, set, go.
Now hang on, we'll take one from upstairs. Wait a minute. You right? Yeah, right in the way, right. Now, watching upstairs. He got it. Just say it like it's nice. Right, okay. Just move it. Don't move much between. Just right. All right?
Sorry about that. Can we get it?
Wait a minute, we're going to use a truck to take this one to stand up. You've suddenly got bigger.
You're on the picture, right? Cool.
Oh. Right, now, just watch the gentleman up the top here. This is where he takes it.
Oh, sorry.
Ready, set, go.
I don't think the headmaster's there. Oh. There's no headmaster there. There's no teachers there. What? All right.
Right.
Yeah, she never turned up.
She's on the blow.
You right, John? Okay. Good. You'll be there tomorrow morning.
Do we have the Jubilee Committee up here for a photo, please? The Jubilee Committee.
Out here? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'll come to you then.
Yeah, but we'll have them here tonight and tomorrow.
Fine. Thank you.
All teachers and ex-teachers. The next photo. Just down the middle weeks, this is present. The Jubilee Committee, the next photo.
Lady sitting in front. Very nice, David.
Margaret Menil Adams, you're wanted for a photo, and the teachers.
Okay, all looking this way. All looking towards me. One more. Okay, all looking this way. That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Now we can go. Now, teachers, all back here.
Thank you very much. And how are you enjoying it?
You're right, better off on here.
Right. One to come. John, they're waiting for one to come.
Okay, team, now. Hang on. Okay, if you're all looking this way, I'll just get a couple more, hang on. One. Alright, Murray. Okay, all looking this way, nice and still. One for luck. Okay, here we go, that's it, thank you. That's the last one, isn't it? Okay, all looking this way, nice and cheerful there. All looking this way. Get a couple more, hang on. Hang on.
We've got our names yet.
I wonder if we should shut up. Okay, all looking this way. One more. Okay, all looking this way. That's it, thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you tonight. 10 o'clock.
No, we got them all here.
Actually, the group is not quite composed. The gentleman on the end, if you go to the other end, sorry, which end?
There's that empty chair there.
In the old corral.
No, the rows are all offset. The second row wants to go that way.
Yeah, that's it. Back row. You go on any further? Yeah. Back row.
back row, just break them along. That's it. Yes. Just trust, yes. Right, that's it. I'll give you this.
Good. Just looking this way. Back row. Good. Hey, ready for it? Going the wrong way.
That's a hand blown one, that one. See, they've got a knob underneath there, they say they're hand blown.